mistakes I see home buyers make all the time is they don't know their budget when they're purchasing a new property. They're not sure what those closing costs are. They've heard of them, but they're not really sure exactly what it looks like, and they don't know their monthly budget. So one of the things that we do for all of our clients here at Walker Mortgages is we make sure we give you a breakdown of every single property that you go and look at, so you can decide before you see it if that's the right property for you and if it fits within your budget. So what we're going to do here is we got a great property here listed by one of my preferred partners, Jeff Thibodeau. It's in Woodstock on Wellington Street, and we're going to break it down for you. So it's got a purchase price of $599, and we're going to give you two different options. We're going to give you the minimum down payment, and we're going to give you a 20% down payment, and kind of compare both, and you can look and see what's best for you. So let's start here with the minimum down payment, and on both, we're just going to use a 5-year fixed. Might not be the best term for you, but it's an easy one to look at. We're seeing more and more variables right now. We're starting to see some shorter terms, the 3 years, the 4 years, maybe even a 2-year. But we can look at those numbers that work best for you and your goals. So on the minimum down payment that we're looking at, we are bound by CMHC rules. So because you're going to use CMHC insurance, our maximum amortization on this mortgage is going to be 25 years. One of the tips we always share is if you pay accelerated bi-weekly, you can save a little bit of time on that mortgage and pay it off a little bit quicker. So what this comes with is an insurance fee. So this is going to be 4% when you're using 5% down. Now that does adjust if you go up to 10% or 15%. That insurance fee does get a little bit smaller, but at 5% down, the minimum down payment, you are paying a 4% insurance. Now that doesn't come out of your pocket. That's going to be added onto the cost of the mortgage. So you don't have to worry about having that right away. There are some additional costs that you do need to be aware of with that CMHC insurance, but we'll break those down as we continue to go down here. So what I've built in here is that you are a first-time home buyer at that minimum down payment, and you don't need to be a first-time home buyer to put 5% down. I've compared both here, and that's going to come into the land transfer taxes. We'll get into that as we work our way down this budget sheet. So we've got a purchase price of $599. Now, once you have that purchase accepted, so you've negotiated that offer, you've worked with your realtor, you've negotiated that offer, you're going to need to have a deposit. Within 24 hours, you're going to have that deposit submitted into the seller, and that kind of shows you how serious you are. Now, I put $10,000 on this one. The stronger the offer, the more money that you might be putting on that deposit on the purchase price. Don't worry, you've got great realtors that you'd be working with. If you're working with one of my preferred partners, they'll help you come up with this number. We just use $10,000 as a rough number on this one here. So we talk about that down payment and what is required for a minimum down payment. So you're 5% of the first $500,000 and 10% on anything above there. So we're using the list price here, and that gives you a minimum down payment of $34,900. Now we talked about that CMHC insurance premium that's going to be added onto your mortgage. So that's $22,564, leaving you a total mortgage amount of $586,664. Now, what does that look like in terms of closing costs? So you've already given that $10,000. That's going to be deposited within 24 hours of your purchase. You need that down payment amount of $34,900. You are going to have legal fees, so you're going to need a lawyer to take care of this transaction. If you don't have a lawyer, don't worry. We've got a team of lawyers that we can refer you to that do a great job. You're going to have to pay taxes on those legal fees. One of the benefits is you don't have an appraisal fee. So when you're using a CMHC insured mortgage, there's no appraisal fee that's needed on top of that. This property is not in Toronto, so you don't have to worry about paying the GTA. They have a separate land transfer tax that you would have to pay if it's a Toronto-based home. We don't have that outside of the GTA. Now, there are land transfer taxes. Because this one we're assuming you're a first-time home buyer, you get a break on the first $4,000. So you're paying $44.55 for those land transfer taxes. Now, we talked about an added premium or an added expense that you would have because of those CMHC premiums. You do have to pay the tax on that up front. It does have to be paid up front, so that's $1,805. That's the tax on this number up here, the $22,564. The other thing we'd like to budget in is adjustments on closing. So one of the things that we have buyers get to the closing table all the time, and they're, what the heck is these adjustments? So if the seller's already paid their property taxes in advance, you have to pay them back for the time that you are going to live there. So we like to budget up to $1,000. Could be lower. A lot of cases it is. $1,000 is usually on the high side, especially for a property. Our property taxes on this one are $38.27. Probably a little bit on the high side, but we're better to budget a little bit high. So your total closing cost that you're going to have 1 week before closing is $34,194. Again, that's in addition to that deposit that you've already given. So what does that look like on a monthly basis? So your monthly mortgage payment is going to be $34.08. We've got your monthly property taxes built in there at $318.92. Leaves you a total monthly payment of $37.27. Now, we can break that into bi-weekly. You can break it into weekly. Whatever's easiest for you, we can break that payment up however is best. Now, when we look at the 20% down. So we're outside of CMHC fees. The benefit of that, you get a little bit more flexibility. We can go to a 30-year amortization. Now, the rates do go up a little bit, but again, you're saving on that 4% insurance fee. Let's break this one down. We'll go through it a little bit quicker, but property taxes are all the same. We've left that same deposit amount in there. Your down payment on 20% is $119,800. What are the differences on here? So we will have an appraisal fee because you don't have CMHC insuring that. You will have an appraisal fee of about $400. Your land transfer taxes, like I said, they go up when you are not a first-time home buyer. Again, these can switch back and forth between the two. I just wanted to give both illustrations. So assuming you're not a first-time home buyer, your property taxes are $84.55. We don't have that tax on the insurance premium because we have no insurance premium. We still do have those adjustments that we need to be aware of. So the number that you're looking at with 20% down is approximately $121,689. You're going to kind of be in those range. What does that do for your payment? Obviously, we're going to break that payment down because you're mortgaging a lower amount. If you look up here, your mortgage amount of $479,200 versus $586,64. That's going to leave you a much smaller mortgage payment, and we do get the advantage of spreading it out over 30 years versus 25 years. So your monthly mortgage payment is going to be $26.99 plus those property taxes, leaves you with a $3,018 payment. Now, if you want to break down these numbers further, you want to look at different options on this house, give me a call. If you have any other properties that you're going to look at, give me a call. I'd love to run numbers. We can create this custom budget for any property that you're looking at. Thanks for watching today, and have a great day.